Oh, that's interesting.
Tonight, I'm going to be taking you on Morocco's awesome overnight desert sleeper train, travelling over 650 kilometres into the vast and barren reaches of Morocco's Oriental region. I'll ride on what they call the Train+Hotel, checking out the most luxurious cabins on board, exploring the unusual carriage layout and complimentary fresh breakfast. But is this service to Morocco's extreme east actually any good? Join me and let's find out. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm here in Casablanca, Morocco's largest city, and I'm going to be taking the Al Atlas overnight train over to Oujda. I've booked out a private room for this journey, so it's going to be an interesting experience. Let's go. Our trip this evening starts at Casa Voyageurs station, one of two railway terminals here in Morocco's economic and business powerhouse, Casablanca. Casa Voyageurs is a glitzy station, more resembling the glamorous airports of the Middle East than a city centre hub, with an overpowering construction and plenty of fancy designs. The original station opened in 1923, when the region was under French control. Following the arrival of high-speed trains in Morocco in 2018, the station was totally rebuilt to accommodate the increase in passengers. The old station building now serves as the station's exit hall. Casa Voyageurs has an entrance on either side of the tracks, with the western entrance facing most of the city. There are many shops here in the station, ranging from clothing to mobile phones and even a few fragrance boutiques. At the far end is the staffed ticket office, with numerous food and drink options around the station. The station's highlight has to be the viewing terrace though. Major stations in Morocco don't generally allow access to the platform until it's time to board. So this offers a great opportunity to watch the trains before you set off. And as if that's not enough, you'll be sharing the space with a lot of friendly cats. Not sure why they were here, but I certainly wasn't complaining. My train today is the 2115 Al Atlas service to Oujda, train number MA. Tickets are inspected before accessing the platforms. It's already late, so the hustle and bustle of passengers from busy commuter trains and high-capacity long-distance services is already over. However, this overnight train also has an impressive length, 12 carriages, with 4 different classes of travel. Haulage for this heavy train is one of Morocco's modern E1400 electric locomotives, 50 of these entering service from 2010. I'm travelling in a single sleeper room, the highest class of travel on the train, featuring a dedicated carriage attendant, with the Moroccan Railways promising a hotel-like experience. It certainly makes me curious to see what tonight's journey is going to be like. My place is coach S1, bed 1, in this very quirky room.
Oh, that's interesting.
Today's route sees us heading east, first along Morocco's Atlantic coast before heading into the remote Oriental region, slowly running through the desert until we reach Oujda. Journey time is 9 hours 55 minutes, covering 672 kilometres. We depart just 2 minutes late at 21:17, leaving behind the lights of the big city. Now, there are plenty of amazing desert views to come in the morning, but for now, let's turn our attention to the sleeper room. Now, this is a very unusual sleeper room. It feels like it was created from a bunch of random parts found lying around in an abandoned warehouse, and let me show you why. The room features just a single comfy bed, instead of the more typical bunk bed setup. Opposite this is a large armchair next to the room's table. This was pretty comfortable and had a good amount of padding as well as folding armrests. Though these armrests were also individually adjustable, so you can select a specific angle for your comfort, just like the seats used for bus and truck drivers. I do wonder why they chose such a seat. The table itself was pretty well sized and would be a good work surface. There were also 2 drink holders, perfect for the complimentary bottle of water. Beneath this was the room's bin. There are also 2 European-style power sockets in the room, with one next to the bed, while another one can be found above the storage cupboard. Next to the door is the room's sink. This features a soap dispenser as well as a massive mixer tap with really good water pressure. Again, this is a very strange choice for a sleeper room. Next to this is a cup holder with a towel rack just above. As for luggage space, this train is well equipped. There's a large space underneath the bed with a few cupboards dotted around the room, though make sure you don't leave anything behind. There are also 2 coat hooks located on the wall. And while there's no luggage rack in the room, it's definitely enough storage space for a solo traveller. So despite its quirks, this is actually a pretty nice room. But what does the rest of the train look like? Well, let's go and take a look. Or not, as the rest of the train is actually padlocked away, preventing anyone entering or leaving the sleeper car without a valid ticket. This also applies to the carriage's external doors. It does make you wonder what would happen in the event of a fire. Anyway, the train features a large amount of seated cars, both spacious first class and the unbelievably cramped second class with 8-seater compartments. While these options are good enough during the day, it's much nicer to be able to lie down. So there are also shared couchette compartments, providing more comfort but at a lower cost than the single sleeper. Let me know in the comments if you'd want to sleep here. Toilets can be found at each end of the carriage. These weren't the cleanest, though were at least usable. Unfortunately, no soap was available, however the water was working fine. The hand dryer was also not working. Sleeper car passengers receive a pair of disposable slippers and an amenity kit. This contains a dental kit, a small towel, and the all-important earplugs, but we'll get onto that in the morning. It's now getting late as we make our way up Morocco's Atlantic coast. My single bed is really comfortable. There's a soft mattress that feels more like a hotel bed than something on a train. The pillow was also just right, being soft but also supportive. There's also a thick red velvet blanket and an intricately decorated bed runner. Beside the bed is a reading light, with what I can only assume is a phone holder just next to it. There's also a call button for the dedicated carriage attendant, who, by the way, was always eager to help and chat despite the language barrier. As we arrive at Rabat Agdal, here in Morocco's often overlooked capital city, it's time to get some rest. I ended up going to sleep at around 22:30. Good morning from the barren, stony desert of the Oriental region. It's currently just gone 6 o'clock, and I got around 7.5 hours of sleep. Waking up in this landscape was surreal, being surrounded by what looked like endless expanses of dry and harsh terrain, with the horizon being populated only by a few distant mountains. We are now travelling on unelectrified lines, with our loco having swapped out for a powerful diesel locomotive built in Croatia. But these locos won't be around for much longer, with modern diesel locomotives on order from China. Now, despite this room's unconventional design, I have to say I slept really well. The bed was extremely comfortable, having a proper thick mattress instead of the usual purpose-built designs, which can sometimes be a little firm. My only complaint is the extremely loud plug hole, which let out a real racket through the entire night. As we make our way further east, we pass many smaller stations, such as Oujda-Angad. Nowadays, this remote station doesn't seem to serve any population at all, only existing to facilitate the passing of oncoming trains on this single-track railway. The sunrise this morning was nothing short of spectacular, with our long train winding its way around the gentle hills, with the occasional farmer herding his cattle out the window. Though after 45 minutes of travelling through empty landscape, we finally reached the first major settlement of the morning. This is Al Ayoun. With a population of 41,000, it's a small city, though definitely a difference in scenery compared to the emptiness of the desert. And not long later, we come into our final stop before Oujda, this time in the much smaller town of Noima, boasting a population of just over 1,000 residents. This railway serves as a lifeline for locals in the area, providing an affordable connection to Morocco's major cities, with the seating carriages being particularly good value. My journey from Casablanca to Oujda in a single sleeper cost 670 Moroccan dirham, and I think that's a great price for the comfortable journey I've had. Note that the second-class seats on both daytime and overnight trains sell for as little as 99 Moroccan dirham, making this a truly affordable option. By the way, sleeper passengers also get a complimentary breakfast, but as the train has no restaurant car or service compartment, this is instead offered at a cafe in Oujda station itself. This includes a warm pastry, fresh orange juice, water, and a traditional pot of tea. We're nearly there, and there's one more special surprise still awaiting us. A second-hand T2 type sleeper car purchased from SNCF, or the French Railways. This old thing doesn't see much use anymore, but I bet it's a great experience travelling through Morocco in such a vintage carriage. Arrival into Oujda is 30 minutes late, for some reason, at 07:40. Overall, this was a fantastic journey. While the room's design was one of the most unusual I've seen on a sleeper train, it was ultimately extremely comfortable. Between the helpful staff and the fresh breakfast at the station, it definitely lived up to its Train+Hotel name. But this old, slow sleeper train is a completely different experience from Morocco's flagship service, with Africa's first ever high-speed train offering a world-class experience between Morocco's biggest cities. And to see how this outrageous train compares to the old Train+Hotel, click right up here to watch that video next.